Hi and welcome. We are excited to have you guys tuned into today's webinar, Turning Ideas into Apps, Improving Manufacturing Processes with Low Code. I am Nicole Donnelly, the Digital Marketing Specialist here at TrackVia, and our presenter today is Logan Kopis, one of our very own solutions consultants. Before I turn it over to Logan, I did want to go over some quick housekeeping items. You have been set into listen-only mode, so please make sure to keep that on so everyone can hear the presentation. Please submit any questions you may have via the chat. We will do our best to answer them during the presentation or at the end, but if not, we will follow up with you directly via email after the presentation. The webinar is being recorded and we will be sending out the recording to everyone within 48 hours. And finally, as you know, we are awarding one lucky attendee with a 250 gift card today. So stay tuned until the end of the presentation and we'll announce the winner. And with that, I will turn it over to you, Logan.
Thank you, Nicole. Hello, everybody. Thank you for attending the webinar today. As Nicole introduced, I am Logan Kopis, and I'm a solutions consultant here at TrackVia. Just to kind of start us off here, I'd like to go over some of the key ideas that we're going over today. We'll be discussing who is TrackVia, what is low code. Also, we'll be discussing some customer stories, primarily focused on the manufacturing industry. We'll be discussing some of the apps that they're utilizing and some of the ROI that they're seeing from building out these apps and utilizing our platform. And then the bulk of this is going to be a demonstration of a QC inspection that was created all without any code on our platform. And it's really going to touch on some of the tools that you are able to utilize to kind of help stand up an app to go through your own processes. So to kick us off here, we are TrackVia. We were founded in 2006, and just to give a little bit of insight, you know, the term low code was coined in 2005, and we really kind of see ourselves as pioneers within this technological space. We are headquartered here in Denver, Colorado. We have 75 employees, and we also service over 350 plus customers. Now, if you kind of look over to the right, I kind of threw up a little bit of a hodgepodge of some logos and some clients that we service. We'll be going into more detail of our manufacturing ones, such as North Face, 3D Systems, and OtterBox. But just to kind of give a little bit of relevance to where low code can be utilized and kind of the flexibility of our platform, I threw in a couple other brands and company names here. We have KSI, which is oil and gas. They use us as a very heavy mobile use case for field services. They also do asset tracking and logistics. We have Stearns, one of our biggest customers. They primarily use us for project management as well as some of their back office processes. They have over 10 applications that they've stood up on the platform for their processes. Then we have Honeywell. I'm sure some of you are fairly familiar with that name. They use us for a lot of their procurement processes. And then we also have Sands. They actually utilize our systems for tracking potential money laundering within their casinos. Now, what is low code? The textbook definition really is software that provides a development environment used to create applications through graphical user interfaces and configuration instead of traditional hand-coded computer programming. Basically, what that means, and everything you're going to see today, was stood up and built out without utilizing any code. Really, anytime you are moving information from department to department or role to role, and you need, this is typically done with Excel and email these days, and you're looking for a more efficient process and including some automation and ways to do this, and you know, TrackVia is a very good solution for you. Anytime we're really kind of capturing data, acting on that data, and analyzing that data. Really, the low code too, it fits this environment and this technology kind of fits a full spectrum, right? So we have our lightweight tools here on the left, you know, such as Excel, and really, you know, you can stand up data analysis fairly quick but you start to run into issues with these when you're looking for scalability and you need more visual insight and certain automations, as well as kind of that confidence in your data and updates in real time. That's when you don't have that, that's when these lightweight tools really start to kind of fall out. And then to the right of that, we have our developer toolkits. These are very robust platforms, still considered low code, but really you do need to have quite a bit of programming knowledge and technical background to really kind of stand these systems up. Where TrackVia falls is really in between that. And I like to consider TrackVia as kind of a true low code solution. You know, we have the option where you don't need to code anything and you can stand up robust apps that really fit your workflow process with automations and scalable without any coding. Then if you want to move over and what kind of makes it more of a low code environment for certain advanced functionality, integrations, advanced automations, we do provide an atmosphere for you to code in to really kind of stand out these more complex processes. So that leads us kind of to who is low code for? Very simple answer. It is really for everyone. You know, we have our business users really that can utilize low code. They don't need the programming background or the technical background to really build out these workflows and processes, right? And these are people that are working within these workflows every day and truly understand the processes within their business and their organizations and where there's pain points and bottlenecks so they can stand up a more efficient solution to really better their role in the company as well as better the processes in the company. And they could do this without the need to bother IT or deal with any IT backlogs. Then we have our IT professionals. You know, they really kind of love the platform, right? Because they do have that technical background and expertise, and they can just stand up apps kind of utilizing this low code environment and toolkit very easily and build out a robust app that really builds out the business needs for the organization. And they could do this fast and kind of continue working on other things that IT are bogged down with every single day. So now to kind of relate this to the manufacturing industry, we're touching on some customer spotlights we have here. So the first one I'd like to touch on is OtterBox. Really, they kind of utilize us for managing the full production floor from their pick list and to time tracking. They've really improved their configure to order operations. They have 200 users with us, and these efficiencies have actually saved them at their production facilities 9 cents per unit. And this is on 30 million units annually. So you can do the math there and see that they're getting a big return on investment by standing up these processes and really making them more efficient and automated on the platform. And I also like to bring them up too, because they also utilize us outside of the manufacturing space. You know, they also use us for, they have a legal use case app, and they also have an app that helps them out with their brand protection. So again, really speaking to the flexibility of the platform, and they found other ways to kind of utilize this within their organization. Next one I'd like to touch on is North Face. They were looking to better their workflow for their product lifecycle management. Before, they were kind of taking in custom apparel orders, and they were tracking all this, all these order processes and quality inspections through just email and spreadsheets. You know, they were losing a lot of visibility, and they didn't really have a lot of confidence in the data that they were getting from these spreadsheets, because they don't know really when the last report was ran, what edits were being made behind the scenes by somebody else that had access to the files, so on and so forth. They were looking at about 28 days for these custom quote processes, and that has now been cut down to 7 days. So we've seen a 75% reduction on order time and so much time saved. And just think about all that they can do within the organization with all that time saved. And what they have a very large kind of network with us as well, as they have over 800 users within the system utilizing these tools. And then last one to kind of touch on, we have 3D systems. They're kind of used as a global manufacturing quality system. They perform checks as their 3D printers move through their quality control process, and they also track where the printers are within the process of standing and building out these printers. They've also utilized us as a training database for their different processes and procedures, because the #1 issue they were running into was operator workmanship. They were also losing about 100K a month in supplier material quality issues. So with this more robust form of quality inspection and supplier scorecarding, as well as providing kind of a document repository for training for their employees, they were able to kind of reduce this cost from their lack of efficiencies in their quality control process. And they are looking at about 30+ users with us at the moment. So now to kind of jump into the demo environment here, I'll go ahead and give kind of an overview of what we'll be covering within the tool. So we'll be starting out in a mobile environment, and I'll be playing the role of an inspector. We'll complete a quality control inspection on a particular product. The inspector is then going to assign that fault code or any visual defect they might see. The QC manager will be, through these automations, right, will be instantly notified and alerted that these products have failed inspection. And then they will assign and approve corrective actions that will go to the supplier. Once the supplier has then implemented this corrective action, it'll go back to the QC manager for their approval. And then we'll kind of have an analysis dashboard that's available for the QC manager, so they can analyze real-time KPIs around the product quality and really provide that oversight and real-time updates on their process. So I'm going to go ahead and exit out of this and move over into our platform environment. So we'll go ahead and start, and I'll kind of help with giving an orientation to the screen here. We have our TrackVia logo up here in the left. That really serves as a home button. And again, this is all built on a fully configurable relational database. So really what that means is everything you're looking at is completely customizable. You know, you can have your company's color scheme, your company logo, completely white label it as well, because this should really be the look and feel of your app. We're not trying to provide a point solution that you have to condense and tailor your process to that software, right? This software is meant to be adaptive and stand out and build out and be tailored to your process, so you can continue your own unique process for your company and your manufacturing processes. So right next to that, we have our app drop-down menu. I like to kind of just show this off because, again, the flexibility of the program, we're used for so many different things. These are just a couple of stuff we've stood up that we stood up in our demo environment because they're common use cases we found among our clients. But really, the sky's the limit in what you can stand up and what processes you can automate within the system. So we have document routing, field services, you know, KPI uses us for these, inventory tracking, invoice approval, project tracking, production management, quality control we're going through today, supply chain, and just, again, a very flexible platform. And then underneath we have the admin toolbar. So I am signed in as an app admin at the moment, so I have this available to me. So these are the tools that are kind of used to build out and stand out these applications. And to kind of segue into our roles and permissions from there. So we have very robust roles and permissions. Again, I'm signed in as an app admin, but you can have limited users. So they are only seeing the information necessary to them, and they're not going to be able to make any alterations or changes to the app and basically affect the entire process. You can really kind of choose what information is available to each person in each role within your organization. And then we have our various dashboards. Here, our various dashboards represent a different role within this quality control inspection process. So right now, we are the inspector, we have our manager, and then of course the supplier portal for our supplier to implement those corrective actions. So starting out from the inspector dashboard, we have kind of our inspection results, inspections by product, again, just different views and different ways of seeing and kind of moving that data and that oversight. And the inspector is only seeing the information necessary to that inspector. You know, they're not seeing anything the supplier may need or anything that the manager has oversight on, right? They're just seeing what's necessary for that inspector. So now I'm going to go ahead and dive right in. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drag a mobile screen over here. And this is just a tablet that's sitting right here on my desk next to me. And this is really just to kind of showcase the mobile capabilities that we have with TrackVia. So as you see, everything that's on the web form is also available to us on the mobile form, right? So we have that same inspections by product. We have the same table for that inspection results, and everything is updated in real time. Once a change or manipulation is done or a record's added on the mobile, it's immediately updated on the web form and vice versa. So if I click the home button here, you can see that we have a native iOS and Android app. Basically, that just means that we have offline capabilities and we're able to utilize the full capabilities of the mobile device, such as talk to text. You know, if you have gloves on and it's hard to type, you can still talk to the device and text. We have location capture, as well as we get to utilize the full camera capabilities too. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is, as the inspector, I'm going to go ahead and start a QC inspection. So now form is loaded up here, and we have a couple form rules that are going on. So we have the capability of having default values. So you see the date and time is automatically inputted for us once the record is being created. Again, this is just tailoring that user experience. You know, you're trying to make it as easy as possible for your inspector or someone that's on the form. So there's very little training that needs to be done. They're not having to deal with empty fields or gathering maybe unnecessary data that's not really relevant to the process, or even missing out on data. You know, you can have required fields. So as you see, product is required. I can't move on in the process unless I've inputted a product. So again, really keeping that consistency, and you can have true confidence in the data that you are gathering. So for inspector, I'll go ahead and select myself. Product, we do have, again, the mobile device capabilities. We do have barcode scanning capability. If I had a barcode in front of me, we can scan that. It will automatically input serial number, product info, again, tailoring that user experience, making it as easy as possible. But we'll go ahead and select caster for product. We'll put in an arbitrary value for the serial number. And then we'll go ahead and use the location capture, as it now goes ahead and it captures my location here in downtown Denver. I'm going to go ahead and click next. And now a couple things have happened here. So now we have information that's generated based on the product that we selected here. So now we have all the reference product info for that product that was automated. And notice these locks. Again, those are the form rules and the tools capable to you. They aren't able to change any information that you necessarily don't want them to change. Again, keeping that confidence in your data. Then we have some arbitrary lower tolerance and upper tolerance limits. Again, you can have this as detailed as possible because it's how you eventually set up your process within the low-code environment. You may have a lot more information that is needed to reference this product info, and it's all flexible, and and you basically get out of the platform whatever you put into it. So we'll go ahead and go through some of these inspection steps. Gaskets tightly sealed. We also have, again, some reference pictures to show what a tightened gasket looks like. And if it's out of place, they can click no, and therefore Go ahead, safety sticker located at the bottom. And we have our final visual inspection result. So we can choose either pass or fail it. For this demonstration purposes, I'm going to go ahead and fail this. And again, we have another form rule come into place. We have this show hide function. So now a fault code has come up with the option for a barcode scanner because we have failed the inspection. And we'll go ahead and say that there is corrosion. And our tolerance measurement, 95. And then now kind of utilizing the capabilities of the device. This is very handy, especially in a quality control environment. We can go ahead and take a photo. I'm gonna go ahead and take a photo of the TrackVia bottle right here next to me. Click check, and we can make annotations. So referring back to those gaskets, if we see the gasket is loose, I can now annotate on it and create that visual aid for you to, again, tailor that user experience, right? Make it as easy for the next person down the line in the workflow process to know where the failure is. And then we also have a signature field. So we can put a signature there as well. For some processes, right, especially audits, a signature field may be required, but in TrackVia, we do have a full audit history. So anytime there's an edit, an update, a new record created, deleted, the system keeps track of what user is basically doing what, when, and where. So I'll go ahead and now complete that inspection. Then I'll move the mobile screen off the screen here. And then what we have now is we'll move along to the QC manager in the process. So now once that inspection was failed, what I'm going to go ahead and do over here is I'm going to drag this email screen over real quick. As you see 0 minutes ago, I was immediately notified as the QC manager that this inspection has failed and I need to now act on this record within the platform. So we see here it's automatically updated real time. Here's the task assigned to us for a corrective action failed. And now that caster that has failed the inspection has fallen into my queue. Again, just a little bit more orientation. The manager has a dashboard specific to the manager, and he's only seeing his specific task. So if there's another QC manager, he's only seeing the task assigned to him as well, not this QC manager's task. And a couple more data analytics that are maybe relevant to the manager in this process, such as average days to resolve by supplier and the status of their corrective actions that have been implemented. So I'll go ahead and click into the record of our failed inspection. And you can see all the information that was inputted from earlier is here. And again, it is locked, so I can't make changes to keep basically that confidence in our data, right? And here's the picture that we took earlier, as well as the signature from the inspector. So what we're going to go ahead and do now is we're going to issue a corrective action in the process. So now we have the supplier, and again, some of those default values, it's sitting in pending acknowledgement right now. And we're going to go ahead and assign a supplier. Let's assign next day transit. And the non-conformance note will say corrosion on ship for casters. And we'll go ahead and save. And now we can see the corrective actions that have fallen into the queue. So we'll come back out, and now we'll move along to the next person in the workflow process. So now we have our supplier, and here we kind of have the supplier portal. So they don't have any information that, you know, is confidential to the company or anything like that. They're just seeing, again, the relevant information for that supplier. And we have different ways of kind of viewing and manipulating the data. As you've seen before, we've been looking at kind of this grid type view as each record kind of falls in. But here below, we have a lanes view here, also known as a Kanban board. We can see that corrective action that was sent to us. And again, this is just different ways of visualizing and moving the data within the workflow process. So I can see that it was just put in here and it's in pending acknowledgement. Well, I'm going to go ahead and investigate the cause. So now I'm going to drag it over into investigating the cause. And we'll go ahead and click into the record and see where the QC inspection has failed. And now I can see the corrective action, all the same pertinent information from our QC inspection. And now I can see the corrective action that was implemented. And now we have it here as an investigating cause. We can also attach documents to these records. So we'll say that this is a work instruction, and I'll just drag over a document to show that it can just easily be drag and dropped into the system. So you can attach PDFs, Word docs, CSVs, JPEGs, even video files to these records to kind of keep a true kind of data repository and move that information along for people that need to have access to those documents in the next stage of the workflow process. So we'll say primary cause, shipment with humidity causing that corrosion, and the corrective action that was implemented is resent caster shipments. And we'll go ahead and move from investigating cause to corrective action implemented. And now we'll save changes. And then we'll go back to that QC manager to then approve or reject the corrective action. So here, the corrective action that's been implemented, and we'll go ahead and say approved and save changes. And now we have this blue notification. It has fallen out of this view because the task has already been completed. It's no longer needing to show up in the My Tasks record or the My Tasks table here. Now, I know this is a very kind of high level QC demonstration. Again, this is just what we commonly find, and for demonstration purposes, your workflow process may be way more detailed and have to go through so many more roles. Again, the platform is flexible, and it's really kind of how you build it out. We're not trying to force you to be stuck to a process that was pre-developed by the software, and you have to conform your process to the software. Really, you can stand out and build these apps in a timely manner that fit truly to your process. As we know, everybody has varying processes and unique ways of kind of performing their manufacturing functions. Now, for the last kind of bit in the workflow process, we'll touch on the QC analytics here. Again, anything that's really tracked in TrackVia, you can chart in TrackVia. So again, having that data visual oversight. So we have different ways of looking at the data. We have product failure by fault code. We have kind of the weekly inspection trends. We have tolerance results by product, or scrubber, caster, manifold, so forth, and the overall first time pass. And these are all updated in real time, and they are interactive. So I can drill into the data as deep as I need to. So if we kind of go to this week, I can click into it and I can see the QC inspections that were done this week. Here's all our pertinent information from before, the documents attached, the photos, where our signature, and we can even go up to the product level now. So now we can see all the inspection historical data for the casters. We have the product specifications, and we can just keep drilling down more and more for however your process is to have that true oversight into our processes. Again, all updated in real time. And that really kind of concludes the workflow process and the quality control demonstration. I know we're about 30 minutes in here, and that kind of wraps that up. So we will open the floor to answering some questions now. I see we have a question that came in. Is the dashboard app able to be white labeled for a client? And yes, it is. So on that home, that native iOS and Android app where it says TrackVia, it can have your company name up there as well. You know, it'll be Stern logo, and it's really to be the look and feel of your app, all color coordinated as well, because these are really apps that you and your organization are building out, right? We do have professional services and things like TrackVia University and tools really educate you on how to use this platform. And then once you know how to utilize this platform, the sky is really the limit, you know, and where our customers find most ROI is based on the amount of apps they build and create for these processes. You know, we don't limit you on the number of apps that you can create. You know, you can create multiple apps. On average, our customers have about 6 apps, and they cover processes for their full manufacturing quality control process to something as simple as just PTO and vacation requests as well. And then another question that came in is, how do you integrate? So really, we have 2 ways of integrating. TrackVia is kind of seen as an enterprise gap filler. We have a bidirectional API, and we can really integrate with any system that way. So you can kind of have one source of truth for all your data. So if stuff's being collected in Salesforce, it can be integrated with TrackVia, and you can utilize the charting functions and kind of the trackability that TrackVia gives you for information that's being compiled and gathered within Salesforce. We do also partner with another company called Workato, and it's a way of standing out integrations in another low-code environment. So the same kind of drag and drop feel that you get with TrackVia, you can stand out full-fledged integrations with that. And plus they have over 300 pre-built integrations already. And they also have access to public community recipes as well. So if somebody has a similar process and has already stood out an integration for that, you can basically use that recipe and move it over and use it as kind of a repository for yourself to be able to stand out your own integration. And then we had one more question come in, and it's, what other industries do you work in? Really, again, kind of alluding back to that slide where I had a lot of the customer logos up. You know, we have financial clients, DoD clients, and DoD clients, oil and gas clients. Really, just again, anytime you are needing to track data, act on data, and analyze that data, and as you're moving it between department and department, TrackVia is a very good use case for you and your organization. And then one more is, how often are you adding new features, etc., and are there backups? We're adding new features, you know, monthly and even quarterly. You know, we have a new feature that actually just got released this week, known as Fast Track, where you can literally just take a picture of a form and then it stands up an application right then and there for you. You can get this application built up based on that form within a matter of, you know, minutes. One of our IE guys stood one up for his presentation in 30 seconds. And, you know, we also have features, new features such as promotable sandboxes. So if you don't want to make any adjustments to your app for the time being, because people are still utilizing it, you can move it to a sandbox environment and you can experiment and test out ways to make your app more efficient. And then when you want to push it to production, you have that option. And then backups. Yes, we do have version backups, especially, you know, with that sandbox environment. If you made a change that you don't like and it's necessarily not working, you can move back to an older version. We do have that version history to, you know, keep all your data safe. And we are, and then if you, that's more for like app backups. If you are also talking about data backups, we do that as well. Everything is hosted. Right now we are hosted on the Aurora database, so we are in AWS kind of cloud servers, but we do have options for being stood up on your own standalone servers as well. And I think that concludes our questions. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is we have some final notes here. An email with a recording of this webinar will be sent within 48 hours. We do really value your feedback. Shouldn't take more than 5 minutes, so please take the time to fill out the short survey. And if you'd like any more immediate information, please feel free to email me. You know, that's what I'm here for. This is what I'm getting paid to do, is help people kind of understand the platform and software more and help you stand up your own applications to help automate your workflow processes and make you more successful. And you can email me at logan.copus@trackvia.com. So with that, I'd like to thank you for sitting in on my demonstration. I'm going to go ahead and hand it back over to Nicole. She is going to go ahead and announce the winner of the $250.
Thanks, Logan. I hope this presentation was valuable to everyone on the call. Definitely was very informative, so thanks again. And now for the moment you've all been waiting for. We did add our attendees into our random selector software, and among the 38 of you, we have a winner. Chris H., please look for an email from us directly following this webinar. Congratulations, and thanks again, everyone, for joining, and have a great rest of your day.